So, Grocery Shopping with My Mother. Kevin Powell is a book of poetry. Kevin Powell and I have been friends. How long have we been friends, bro?
Since Freaknik back in the day.
Oh.
Black Arts Festival. Everybody was moving to Atlanta in the 90s. I don't know.
Damn.
When Tupac and Biggie were alive.
I'm saying.
Way back, bro.
When we talk about when you were out on these tours and stuff, do people look at you like nostalgically when you say you actually knew and talked to and met those people? Because whenever I bring up Tupac and Biggie, people look at me like I'm a black unicorn. They was like, for real? I was like, no, we actually knew these people.
Yeah, and I get it a lot. You know, my next book is actually finally on Tupac, so I've been working on it for a long minute, man. And it's deep, man. It's deep. In fact, actually, the first interview I ever did with Pac was in this house in Atlanta. Now I think about it. It was right here in ATL. You know, so it's good to be here. Shout out to all of y'all, Ryan. Shout out to you, and I'll make sure we send some books to the staff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for having me.
Let's talk about what you got going on this weekend.
Oh man, big old Dr. King program. You know, you were just talking about the King holiday weekend, so I decided to do something not just around the book, but I haven't been in Atlanta since before COVID, so it's been like 3-4 years. So I'm just happy to be back first and foremost. I love it, ATL. So we're doing a big event tomorrow at the Residence Studios out on Blatchfield Street, southeast. Conversation about Dr. King, about where we are in this country right now. You know, it's a lot to talk about. The craziness with the violence that's happening all over the place. You know, the state of our community, state of brothers, you know, and sisters out here. You know, these are very real times, man. You know, we're still dealing with COVID, as you know, and so we're going to talk about it all. I'm going to give a short speech, but most importantly, we're going to have a conversation with the community folks that come out tomorrow.
Yeah. And a good. I mean, I steal so much stuff from Rose Scott.
She's dope. Rose Scott is dope.
From WAB, and I told her. You know, I went to her last time. I was like, you know, Rose, I listen to your show, and I just come on the radio, and I sound so smart. And she's like, knock it off. You got to come on. But, I mean, she is, and I hope she's paying attention, but she is a force, man, and her interview style. And I'm sure that the conversation is going to be incredible that
Ron,
y'all are going to have.
Man, Ron, I got to say to you, brother, I haven't seen you in a minute, but I've been following you on social media. Social media makes you feel like you're still talking to folks. But, man, given how many people we've lost the last couple of years, I'm sitting here, you know, looking at Kobe. I have a poem called Dear Kobe in that poetry collection because I was actually at the memorial for Kobe when it was still called Staples Center. Right. That's right when COVID hit, you know, so that just hit me. We've lost so many folks, especially brothers. So just thank you for who you are and what you represent, man, and as a voice in our communities for so many years, because we got to tell people how we feel about them while they're here, not later. You know what I'm saying?
Man. I appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Did you ever think you have this kind of a career, bro?
Man, no. I just want to see my name in a magazine newspaper one time, bro. Right. Everything has been gravy since then. And, you know, since we're talking about King Holiday Weekend, and, man, I'm enjoying just sitting here listening to you. I got to say that. You know, I'm a first-generation college student, man. I'm a product of the Civil Rights Movement. If it wasn't for the Civil Rights Movement, I would not have gotten to college, you know what I'm saying? And I don't take that for granted, brother. And, you know, here we are, 50th birthday year of hip-hop. You know, what will I be talking about this weekend, Saturday, tomorrow at my program around Dr. King? Direct connection between Dr. King and hip-hop. Dr. King's last act was trying to organize a poor people's campaign. Well, who created hip-hop from places like the Bronx, African-Americans, West Indians, Latinx folks in the BX in New York City. And hip-hop was us making something out of nothing, winning on our own terms. And we've seen a lot of progress. You know, I'm an example of that. You know, so I'm blessed. 15 books in 30 years, brother. I've been able to go to all 50 states. I've been to 5 of the 7 continents. There's things I couldn't even imagine when I was growing up. But until everyone has an opportunity, we got to keep doing the work. And so that's what it is for me at this point. You know, I'm glad that I had it, but I'm like, I got to help. We got to keep helping other people. That's important, which is what you do, y'all do here.
You know, when we were talking about the poetry book, it's your first time doing that in, 14 years?
14 years, yeah.
Tell people who are listening right now the inspiration to it.
My mom's got sick a few years ago. I'm an only child.
Me too.
It's deep becoming a caretaker for a parent, you know what I'm saying? And you know, literally I was going grocery shopping with her. I wasn't even thinking about a book. I was just posting, like, I'm grocery shopping with my mother today, you know? And literally I was walking behind her a lot of times, Brian, just crying, man, because I'm like, God, please don't take my mom's yet, you know? Yeah. And even though it's a complicated relationship, I talk about it in the book because my mom's is like, she's no joke, you know. She's like George Jefferson meets Archie Bunker, black woman. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. She keeps it real. She's unfiltered, but you know, she raised me. You know what I mean? Right. I'm here because of her, and so that's what started it. And then the last couple of years, as I was saying, man, I mean, again, we've lost Kobe, we've lost my brother Chadwick Boseman, we've lost Shock G, DMX, so many brothers have disappeared. And I keep thinking about, because I'm also working on my first film that'll be coming out later this year. It's about black manhood, about black fatherhood. And the theme in the book is black men got to talk. Brothers got to let people know what's going on with them. And so many of us bottle stuff up. And so I said, let me just go out here and be vulnerable with this poetry book. I mean, I'm not doing anything that we haven't done in hip-hop. If you look at the greatest hip-hop ever, Kendrick Lamar's last album that came out last year, I wrote a Peaceful Complex about it because I was just so proud of what his brother he's evolved into. Pac, as I said, I'm working on a book about his life. Pac, even if you didn't like Pac, you didn't agree with everything Pac said, you can't say Pac didn't speak his mind. You know what I mean? Ghetto Boys, my mind's playing tricks on me. You think about moments in hip-hop where brothers just really expressed what they feel. And I'm like, I just need to go back to my roots with poetry with that. You know what I'm saying? And you mentioned The Real World. I was the first poet ever to spit on MTV because of The Real World. So I take it very seriously coming back to poetry. So that's why I had to do this. And I made them do it. The publishers wanted the Tupac book. I was like, you're going to get the Tupac book, but I got to get this poetry book out first because this is on my heart. I got to get some stuff off my chest.
Right. Was that like talking to, the people who, support you and put these books out, was that a fight to get this done?
It was.
Even at this point in your career?
It's always a fight, man. It's just like,
Always a fight?
Yeah, it's hard being a writer, man. It's hard because it's like, people expect us. I'm a lifelong hip-hop head. I'm a sports fanatic like you are, my brother, But it's like they think that black men or men of color can only talk about sports and hip-hop, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Is hip-hop in my book? Absolutely. Is sports in my book? Absolutely, But I want to talk about mental health. I had a friend of mine who committed suicide a couple of years ago. We've seen a rise in black and brown men committing suicide out this piece. Rest in peace to our brother Twitch, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I want to be able to talk about what I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like I got the Pac book, it's coming, but I need a moment just to express some things for myself. So that's why I did this poetry book, you know what I'm saying?
Tomorrow, doors open at 2:30. Program begins at 3. Resident Studios, 1397 Blanchfield Street. You got to put that in the ways. It's a certain streets in Atlanta. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Southeast.
And, and most black people like that, where they used to be. Atlanta's a home where it used to be.
What it used to
be.
It
used to be Trader Joe's. Oh, yeah,
okay.
man. I know. Yeah, Trader Joe's. Okay. So I'm sure 1397 Blanchfield used to be something.
Word. And you know what? Most important word is it's free. It's free.
$3.99.
Seating on a first come basis. Tomorrow, I want to shout out Tamika the Priest, Moods Music out there, Little 5 Points, and Resident Studios for putting this together, and our sister, Rose Scott from
Rose Scott, love you.
Yeah, much respect. But definitely, I'm asking everybody in Atlanta, come on out. Not only am I going to have the book there, but more importantly, we're going to have a serious community conversation about the real meanings of Dr. King. 50th anniversary of hip-hop this year, direct connection between Dr. King's work and the birth of hip-hop. Shout out to the Bronx again, my brother, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of other stuff that's going to be in our minds.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Because he's in the news again today.
Uh-oh.
With the marriage.
Okay.
Your thoughts on the Ye experience?
The what experience?
The Kanye, the Ye experience, man. Because it's been.
So he really got married?
Yeah, he got married today to one of his designers from Ye.
We did
She's
talk about
Australian.
this.
She look like him. She look just like him, right?
That's been the pattern the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what, man? I'm not going to diss anybody. I'm just going to say, when I watched my boy Cootie's documentary on Kanye on Netflix, what'd you say?
I was like, Kanye said he was going to call me when he got back from D.C. He never did. So I just continued to raise my son. I'm Cootie.
I'm Cootie. Mental health is a real issue out there, black people, black men. We got to deal with it, man, because if you don't, fame and money can't cover up stuff that we got to deal with. That's all I can say about that, man. You know what I mean? It's sad to me because
But where does that make him on the hierarchy of the hip-hop as we go into this 50-year anniversary? There's always going to be somebody who has something to say about, there's a but in everything. Considering what he did for the culture, and Jay-Z tried to have a shoe. I got some S-dots at the crib. It didn't work.
No.
Kanye figured it out and made a whole lot of money, and then just nobody was able to get him off of this cliff. But he still, is an icon for what it's worth. Well, I'm saying to you, because you're a historian, how does that rank him?
I mean, hip-hop, he's one of the greatest producers ever, greatest artists ever, but unfortunately, be it the anti-black stuff, the anti-Jewish stuff, a whole bunch of anti-stuff that he's been saying for years, it's hard to reconcile who this person has become. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much of it is because of the addiction to the fame plantation, how much of it is mental health issues. Right. But there's something wrong at this point because it's almost like he's blown up his whole career. He has his career. I mean, you know how many DJs I've talked to around the country, Ryan, not just here in Atlanta, but other places who like they won't even play Kanye anymore. You know what I mean? Which is deep. I'm talking about in the clubs.
Right.
I mean, it's because you can't put that kind of energy out there and not expect it not to be some repercussions for it, man. Here we are talking about Dr. King this weekend. I mean, Dr. King was about love, not about hate. Dr. King was about actually learning something, not about ignorance. Right. And when I hear people say things like, well, I don't even read any books, I mean, come on, man. If you have a platform, we all have platforms here.
Right.
If you got a platform, I mean, I love joking. I love laughter. I mean, I'm laughing with y'all, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's balance. Can I also articulate something in a way that's not going to be hateful to myself or my people or to other people?
Right. And
so when I think about Kanye, unfortunately, there's going to be an asterisk, if we can use a sports reference for a second. He did all of this, but here's what happened in the end of 2022 that caused major damage to people. And I know it didn't even just start with the anti-Jewish stuff. It started with the anti-black stuff, the Confederate flag, slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, like, son, you're talking about, my family's from South Carolina. We didn't just we were there because of slavery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, man. It's hard, and it hurts your heart because he's a brother, and you hate to see any brother fall. You know what I mean? And it's just like, one thing I admire about Kobe fell. He apologized, it's documented, and he came back in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think we need to look for. Like, what are those examples of cats that may have fallen down, but they were able to get back up, in a way that was healing for themselves and other people.
Grocery shopping with my mother is available on all platforms, or how they get it?
Everywhere. It's everywhere. And Moods Music has got the books. I want to shout out my brother Daryl Harris and Moods Music. They got the books for tomorrow at Resident Studios, 2:30 p.m. The doors open. Just Google us. Follow me on Instagram, y'all. Kevin Powell Brooklyn, Kevin Powell Brooklyn. All the details are right on my Instagram page about the event tomorrow. And thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Always, brother. Great to see you, man.